Live. Okay.
And then we will bring in the music here shortly to go live on the radio where all of our hundreds of
Hi,
thousands of
everybody.
listeners are.
Yes. Hi, guys. I'm going live right now. So I already did. I'll go ahead. We have double cameras. So it takes a second to get everything synced.
That's
right. Takes a minute. Sorry. Be patient.
We're going.
Okay.
We'll kick off here.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Metaphysical Meanderings with Master Psychic Lana Duncan Hartgraves. Lana has been a practicing psychic for 25 years and has gifts of clairaudience, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. She is an empath, a medium, as well as a pet communicator and a health advisor. This week, we are going to discuss getting unstuck so you can live your best life. And we have a great guest that I'll let you introduce.
Okay. Hi. Ready to go? Okay. Kent, how did you, just before we do all this, how are you doing after post-COVID?
I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah,
I'm still having a little problem. Like, I don't have my smell completely.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of this when I was driving because I'm so paranoid about making sure I put deodorant on. I can't smell. My smell's about 60%, but I can't quite smell like myself. Like I can't, like if I had gas on my hands, I can't, if it's off my body, I can smell it. It's really weird.
But I never lost smell.
No, I didn't lose taste. I lost smell, but it's coming back. And I'm thinking he's going to say to me, no offense, Lana, but you offend. So, and I'm thinking, oh no, I better put plenty of deodorant on and a little perfume or something. So anyway, what we're going to be doing is we're talking about getting unstuck. Now, I have been pretty busy with lots of readings, and the readings, every single person that I would say in the last month has been saying, I'm stuck. I feel stuck. I feel stuck. I don't understand. Well, I want you to understand is one, we're all feeling this way. It's an energy thing. It has to do with the Age of Aquarius. We have to live our true heart. We have to do what our heart is telling us, what our soul is telling us. And if we are out of alignment, that is what is going on. So I'm doing the same thing, you guys. I'm telling you, this is my alignment. Remember, I'm telling you, and I was just telling Kent, next week, I might be taping something for you because I have to have a minor surgery. It's not a big deal. But anyway, I wanted you to remember something because I'm going to start talking about this, the I am principle. Because remember, Jesus talked about being I am. Well, think about it. I is an intent. A is alignment, and M is your manifestation. It's the same concept, the I am. Okay. And how do you get yourself unstuck? Okay. So hi, Anna. Let's see. Go Cubs, go FMs. Go Cubs. I'm a Brewers fan too, though. I know you guys don't like that, but I'm both because I can't decide. So anyway, all right. So today, what I'm going to do is I have a guest. She's a very good dear friend. She's my soul sister. And I've watched her unstick herself. And I've known her, God, Tamika, how long have we known each other? About 2 or 3 years, maybe?
About 2.5 years.
Yeah, it's about something like that. Yeah. And I've watched her unstuck. I always say it instead of saying unstick yourself, unstuck yourself. And I wanted to talk to her a little bit because she had some really interesting things that are going on with her. And I'm going to tell you some ways to get yourself unstuck. And I want you to be prepared because we do understand that when you're unstucking yourself, I guess, that's going to create an awakening. So you're right at that precipice where you're starting to align to your soul. So if you find, and I'm going to give you a couple of things, and this is an ongoing thing, by the way. I've got probably at least 5 or 6 episodes of this because it's a long process. And I want everybody to understand too, that this doesn't just happen overnight. It doesn't happen at one time. You may go, I unstuck myself a little bit here. And then I did some more, and it goes in waves. And it can take years. It could take, and it's a process. So maybe you're going to have some real help at 40, and then you might have something happen at 42. You might have something at 50. It's a process. Okay. So now I have on the phone a very good dear friend who also has a store. So visit this store. I am wearing some of her jewelry, Infinite Soul Vibrations. I've known her for about 2.5 years, and I just have watched her unstuck herself. And I'm going to interview her because some of her journey has been some really odd symptoms of it, so that you understand that there are symptoms of this. Okay. So anyway, and right now I'm jealous because she's in Sedona, Arizona, and I'm all jealous because it's all supposed to be warm there today. So, hey, Tamika, how are you?
So wherever I am, you are all.
That is true. That is true. So tell everybody about a little bit about what started all this. It started over a relationship, and I watched her go through this and heal, and she's still healing. You're still healing from this, but tell us a little bit about it. It's about a narcissist, the whole bit. So go ahead.
I would like to say, first of all, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
When you are stuck and going through the process of, usually you're not going through the process of getting yourself unstuck in the early parts of your stuckness, because things are not really as they seem to be.
Okay.
So it's kind of like living a life full of parables.
Yep.
It's like you think you need certain things. You think you need certain people. You think that you would be empty without, certain situations in your life that are not healthy for you. When there's really what you allow yourself to go through, I just feel like it really reflects broken pieces of yourself that need to be put back together.
That's a good analogy.
So, yeah, and I feel like sometimes, and I'll talk a little bit about my journey, but sometimes we really struggle to get unstuck because our stuckness has become such a norm to us.
Exactly.
Like normal anyway. So,
yeah.
But it becomes the norm. It becomes what we accept in our own lives, and it's like we kind of feel empty without, the things that are really just messing us up.
Yes.
So I just, I'm just gonna think back to one of my most recent parts of my awakening, which I feel like has led me here to where I am. So I'm in Sedona. I'm kind of split right now. Every time I leave here, I leave parts of my soul behind. I'm a healer, and I also have a healer, that works on my energy, and she tells me, next time you go back to Sedona, you need to summon back the parts of you that you continue to leave there.
Yeah.
And we kind of go back and forth because it's like, do I want the parts of me that I'm leaving there to come back here? Because I'm kind of enjoying just going back and forth. But what I'm really doing is I'm just enjoying learning about who I am and what I want, and the things that I love about myself that I was made to think were things that I hated about myself.
So take us back. What kind of started all this? I mean, because see, I know your story, so share it with my audience just a little bit about a relationship. I think that's more than anything, so tell us.
And I'll go back to the beginning of how I even saw myself in that relationship. I was in a very vulnerable space. I had just lost my baby brother. He had just been, kidnapped, and it was just a lot going on for me. I had all sorts of heartbreak. So I had fallen weak, and I got into a relationship that wasn't healthy, where I was pretty much being controlled. And the pieces of me that I did understand and that I did love, I was kind of conditioned not to love them anymore. And, I don't know. I thought I was made to think that the good things about me were actually things that were wrong, like my empathy, like my for compassion, my need for communication, like all of those things were, slowly stripped away from me over time. So
how did you?
Chakra got all sorts of blocked up.
So how did you take off the mask? How did you start the process of this? Because I know you're still in the process. I know you are. So what kind of changes, what did you do to kind of unstuck yourself?
Well, this is crazy, guys. As if I was on camera, you'd see tears in my eyes right now.
That's okay. It's normal.
Because this is really personal. But I started to take off my mask just by simply starting to be alone. There's a very abusive part, that I went through that I won't talk about, that kind of pushed me to this place where I felt really lonely because I was alone. So I was really pushed to understand the difference between loneliness and aloneness, just being alone. And also what felt unfortunate to me, what really felt hurtful versus something that I just needed to happen in my life in order to get my life back. So I just kind of broke away, and Lana knows that, I became really bad with my phone. Professionally, I work with lots of people. I'm a healer, and I was a broken healer. So I came to this part of myself where, I realized, and, you've even told me, Lana, like, you've got to heal these parts of you in order for you to continue to do what it is that you were called to do. So I was kind of summoned to get my, can I say shit?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. But I was, I'm sorry, guys. I was kind of summoned to get my shit together,
Yeah.
Otherwise, otherwise what I was called to do, to help people, to heal people, to be the light, I had lost that. I was losing those parts of me. I wasn't able to be the light anymore because
so you're
I was
stuck.
allowing myself to just be stuck in the darkness.
What I'm finding with a lot of people is that they have to admit to their gifts. They cannot be hidden any longer. And a lot of times people hide them. They purposely hide them because of societal norms, pressures, all kinds of things. And once they almost give in to the divine and say, you know what, God's given me this, I got to go with it. It helps the unstuck part.
Yep. And for all the listeners out there, the tens of thousands of listeners at 21.6 Net, thanks for getting stuck in the net this morning. And of course, Tamika owns a fantastic store, a healing store with a lot of crystals and great things. And you can check that out at www.infinitesoulvibrations.com.
Yes.
And if you go over to Lana's YouTube, my YouTube, here at 21.6, Facebook, you're going to see we're scrolling through some of her web page as well. But she would love to hear from you. She can ship anywhere.
Yes, and
so
you'll hand make it, right, Tamika? I mean, if someone calls you, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely.
It's cool.
It's hand wrapped from my heart to yours.
Yep.
And I just want to say before I go, your healing, don't get stuck in what healing looks like to other people, because your healing journey is yours.
Yep.
And things that work for other people, they may not work for you.
Yeah.
I've been splitting myself onto, two different sides of the country lately, for my healing. I spend a lot of time in Arizona. But I need to be here. Like, don't be ashamed of what you need to do to heal yourself.
Exactly.
What works for you, do it, and love yourself just the way that you are.
Awesome. Well, Tamika, I will talk to you later. Make sure you check out her infinitesoulvibrations.com and you can order some jewelry, and so it's really good.
It's a great story.
It's awesome.
Yep.
So she'll do stuff for me. So take care, Tamika. Go have some nice sunny days out there. I'm jealous.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Love and light. And
Love
stay
and light.
positive.
Yep. Okay. So what this is, so we're how to get unstuck, right? Everybody wants to know now, right? Because I'm getting people that are already kind of putting in here going, okay. Okay. You know that feeling, and this is how you know if you're stuck, because most people know they are. It's like they're in a rut. They feel like that, and okay. You know that feeling when you're in a holding pattern and you're frustrated and you're like in limbo. It's like a feeling that something's quite not right. You're stuck. That's what this is. And it's because of a lot of different things. And then I'm going to go over some of this, but it's literally feels like you're stuck in a rut and everything feels like you're bored, listless. You might even be angry. I have been playing a game for the last 10 years. I've taught 30 years. I love my job, but yet I should not have been doing my job for a good 10 years. I should have moved on and I did not. And I stuck with it. And I had a lot of anger. I mean, I know I did. And I'm still healing from that. So it's dissipating because I'm finding, one, I was a closet psychic. And if you talk to 90% of a lot of psychics, they're closet psychics. We do this incognito online because we don't want people, I had people telling me I was a devil worshiper at my last job before this one I've got now. I'm like, and we all know that that's not true because I don't even kind of like believe in that. But anyway, anyway, and I'm letting society dictate is what's going on. Think about that. And it's true. Okay. So I want you to know that like I said, it was the Age of Aquarius. The Age of Aquarius has made everybody just stop and think of what makes their heart happy. Okay. Because your heart is your soul. It's the same thing. Okay. Your heart knows what it needs to do to make itself happy. You're being held back by other people telling you what to do. Society, religion, all kinds of stuff. So this is a unique journey for every single person. Hi, Jen. All right. So the Age of Aquarius started in December 20th, 2020. Okay. And it's going to last for 2,100 years. We are at a really odd precipice right now. Okay. So that you understand a little bit about the Age of Aquarius really fast, because I've been nagging on it for I don't know how long, because I know that's what's going on. Okay. Technology is just going to explode. It's part of the Age of Aquarius. It's part of an Aquarian. So technology in general, to good and bad, but it's going to happen. Okay.
Romy, good morning. Glad to have you with us.
Hi, guys.
Lana loved your show yesterday.
Yes.
She might reach out to you.
Decrease in dogma and structured religion. There's going to be a decrease in that. And you notice that people are kind of, and I'm not saying any of the religions are bad. I'm not. But what's happening is the religion's becoming your own. You're processing it. You're not listening to somebody tell you what to believe. You're processing it, yes, and believing it yourself. Yeah. That's part of the Age of Aquarius. Okay, we're getting it. That's part of the alignment that I talk about. Yeah. All right, freedom to follow your heart. It's almost like you have to follow your heart now. Okay, you have to. It's like a longing, and that's part of the stuckness that people are talking about. Okay. Societal coming together to bring love and kindness. Everybody's going to be working together, regardless if you like that or not. That's the way it's going to be. And you are starting to see people like for the common good. Yeah. You're going to see, and there's expressions that are coming out now that are for the common good of all, and it's, and there's like, I just had somebody, God, what was it? What was the word? And I kind of chuckled to myself because it was mentioned in one of my professional developments at school. And I laughed because I'm like, you're talking about the Age of Aquarius, guys. Anyway,
Lisa says that good and bad has to happen. It brings
Yes.
both balance and change.
That's right. You are right. Societal masks are coming off, and the increased in intuition in your gifts. I have so many people going, all of a sudden, I've got like, I know what that other person's thinking, and your intuition is increasing because you're taking off the masks. You're living your life with your gifts. Once you've come to a point where you've accepted that this is what you do, these are what your gifts are, then that's part of the unsticking or unstucking of yourself. Okay. Now, the first thing is you're following your heart. Okay. So this is what I always say. Now, think back when you were a child. Those dreams never go away. Now, people are like, well, I wanted a red wagon. And I'm like, no. What did you really want? What did that red wagon represent? Freedom? See, do you see it? Mobility? Do you see when you come here to the planet, you remember as a child what you're supposed to be doing. We all come here. Now, I did the numerology thing last week and the week before, telling you about your life path. What's your life path? Okay. If you don't know, go back, download. You can go on Apple Podcast. You can go on Anchor, download my last couple episodes. It's going to tell you what you're supposed to be working on. And trust me, it's accurate.
Yep. Out on, if you have missed any of Lana's shows, the thousands of people who are out there listening right now, feel free to go out to anchor.fm and just search Metaphysical Meanderings. And you'll see they're broken up by date and topic. So feel free to listen to that as you're working out, or if you're looking for a great podcast, go to anchor.fm for Metaphysical Meandering.
So getting back to this, all right. Your childhood, remember how they always talk about healing your inner child? That's what they're talking about, you guys. Make the connections here. My inner child says this and that. Your inner child is your soul, because you were, as a child, aligned to what you're supposed to be doing. And over the years, you've become disconnected from that because you've let other people make your choices for you. You know, maybe you never wanted to get married, but society says you're supposed to be married, and maybe you just never needed to be. You know, I get so many people that I need a man. Do you really? Do you really? You need to really think that if you're whole and you've got in this bright spot, love will find you. I always say that. Okay. So I want you to really think about what you want and think back when you were a kid. Those ideas never go away. Okay. All right. I know that I always have some people like, I'm going to give you an example. All right. Because I always have people will pose questions to me. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm reading some of my, okay. I'm just reading.
I'll read these.
Oh, hi, Dawn. From last week, it was Dawn Jennings. Okay, for instance, so maybe I want to be a famous artist. Okay, somebody says something like that. Since I'm an art teacher, so can't help that part of me. Sorry. Did that for 30 years, you know. Anyway, and maybe you're like, I never draw. I don't draw now. I've forgotten. It's childish. I don't do it anymore. Well, think back. Why aren't you drawing? If you wanted to do that, that has to be, you're probably a 3 on your life destiny, which is creativity. Maybe you're not wonderful, but you know what? You maybe need to let all of that out, to let out the creativity and see. Do you see what I'm saying? Maybe you're not going to be famous as you want to be, but who says? Maybe you're going to sell some artwork. You'll make other people happy. Do you see the point? You have to think back to your childhood.
Lisa says, I tell people if they want truth of life and heart, ask a toddler.
Yes, that's true. Because you know what? By the way, here's another whole show. Toddlers under the age of 4 remember their past lives. Ask them. My daughter used to tell me she was a garbage man, and now she's like maybe 3. I was a garbage man, and I did, or no, it wasn't a guy. She was a fireman. That's what it was. And she used to tell me how she used to put the big boots on and the hat. And she's 3. How would she know that? And she looks at me very honestly and she goes, but then I retired. She's 3. How you, and she goes, and I was a boy. I was a man. I was a boy. And I said to her, I said, what do you mean? She goes, you know what I mean. And she literally, and I'm just brushing her hair and I'm fixing her hair. And she goes, before now, not now, before now. And so I always tell her and remind her, I said, do you remember being a fireman? And she's like, I don't remember saying that. And I said, well, I do. Cause I'm like, it was shocking. My granddaughter has all kinds of dreams about because we're white, we're European. She remembers being black in the last lifetime. And she tells me all about it. And she lived in a large city. So, and now once you hit about 4, you assimilate into this lifetime and you do forget that and you carry it in your soul, by the way. So you are right. So ask somebody under 4 when they can talk good enough and they'll tell you who they were. So, okay. So
talking about getting unstuck, unstucking yourself.
Yeah. When we're born, we know who we are. We know why we're here. We're in alignment. Okay. But the pressure, the stress, things get in our way. We get sidetracked. Yes, it can be free will. I really, truly feel a lot of it's societal pressure because, we truly, you may not want to admit it, but you truly want to make your parents happy. Some people I go out of my way not to, but no, at a deep core, a lot of people do. And so they put that mask on. They don't want to do what they want to do. They're trying to make other people happy. So for other reasons, well, I want to be loved. And instead of having self-love, see, here we go again. That's what they're doing. All right. So that's what makes you feel stuck. Okay. So your growing intuitions and gifts are another thing that goes into all this. You've got to admit, now I've covered a couple of podcasts that have to do with your empathic gifts. Okay. Your gifts in general. And some people are stuck, are denying them. If you are a wonderful healing energy that works great with kids, but you refuse to work with kids because it doesn't make enough money, I don't know. Are you out of alignment? Do you see that? And I know we need money, but do you see how that is going to cause a stuckness and it's going to come back up? I had somebody tell me recently, because I'm getting calls from all around the world. I have been busy. I'm pretty busy. They usually have me booked solid before I even pick the phones up for the week. Anyway, because you can call me, by the way. I'm actually doing a past life regression tomorrow. Ooh. So I also do past life regression and I'm teaching classes now, but that's another thing. So this person says to me, I've always wanted to be a teacher, but I just make such bad money at it. Well, one, that's not true, because teachers don't, when you're at the top of the pay scale, you don't make that bad of money. Trust me, because I'm at the top of the pay scale. But also, 2, follow your heart and the money will come. I think people don't understand that, because, other opportunities will follow. So maybe you're not making enough money, but maybe, start a little bit of tutoring after school. Because I know I have friends that make a lot of money doing that after school. And it's just a few hours a day, and the money came. Do you see what I'm saying? And they love what they're doing. So do you see what I'm saying? Don't let the societal pressures get in your way. You know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, Lisa says she remembers sitting and staring out the window for hours at night, wondering why I couldn't see the ships in the sky. That's just bad drugs.
Lisa's another host on one of the shows here. Yeah. What does she mean by the ships in the sky?
Yeah, that's it. Maybe she lived close to an airport.
Oh, maybe, or I don't know. You'll have to elaborate with us on that, Lisa. Yeah, maybe she was on another planet. That's a whole nother show too. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Take the road less traveled is right. And you have to force yourself. See, that's the thing. That's the only way. I'm trying to give you some ideas on how to get yourself unstuck. So I'm starting that right now. So some people are stuck, and I know that, and it's a quandary, and we all came with these gifts, and some of them, it can be just seeing through people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like somebody, like I have that, I'm pretty good at it. Now, when it comes to dealing with myself, I'm blind as a bat. But when I see, like, I have a friend of mine, she's one of my best friends down in Louisiana, and she'll call me and she'll, okay, I want you to size this guy up. What do you think of him? Because I can see through it. It's like, I know, and it's like a gift of discernment. It's a biblical gift. And so I'll say, you know what? I think he's in it for the money, or, I'll say something like that to her. And she's like, I can't see that, but thank you. But when it comes to me, I can get taken advantage of, because people have to understand that psychics, when it comes to us, we're blocked. Because think about this logically, if I could get around all the crap that I have to go through, and I read for myself, wouldn't I? So God blocks us. That's why we can never win the lottery. But anyway, all right. And that's why I keep trying to tell me where I'm not supposed to win the lottery. Why haven't you won the lottery? And tell me the numbers. And I'm like, anyway, all right. So your intuition and gifts. You're hiding them, you're going to stay stuck until once you come to terms with that, accept what your gifts are, say that they're not evil. Because some of them, people are like, oh my God, that's evil. I've had people say that to me. And I'm like, I walk with angels. By the way, I just cleared out a house. And I clear energy. Because I'm a healer too. I'm a Reiki healer, and I clear energy. Well, she went into convulsions, like almost. And if you didn't know, you would swear I was expelling demons or something. But I clear energy, and she was holding on. There was a whole bunch of crap that she finally admitted to me. But see, she's wearing her mask, and now she's like, and she's called me. She's like, I feel so much better. I feel so much better. And I'm like, it's just an energy thing. But that's more. I got endless podcasts, you guys. So anyway, because I also do ghost hunting, house clearing. I do all that. So, and that was actually a friend of Tamika's, by the way. So getting unstuck. Here's the keys to getting unstuck. All right. Just remember that there's something called an awakening. And just remember that the awakening happens after you get yourself unstuck. So be prepared, because and I'm going to go in the next couple of weeks, that some of the things that we're doing is going to help you. And there'll be some symptoms that are going to be weird to you, and that's okay. Okay.
Absolutely. And it's time for us to say thanks for listening to 216 The Net. Get caught in the net with us this morning. This is Metaphysical Meanderings. And Lana, if people want to touch base with you outside of Saturday so they could get a good reading and or learn more about what you do, where can they find you?
EnchantedSky.com. And I'm also on this show on 216thenet.com. I'm giving that to my YouTubers. Yeah. And I'm on Lana's Enchanted Sky. Join me on my YouTube. I'm putting free, like just for fun, like a free zodiac for the month, finance and career, and a general reading for cusps, and some of this is getting posted. And now I'm starting to put some of my other things that I'm taping on here.
And for all of you listeners out there who can't stick around for the entire hour or even get to ask your questions here in a few minutes, you can visit her podcast. Go out to anchor.fm. And I'll post the address in the comments here.
Awesome.
But go out to anchor.fm by Spotify for Metaphysical Meanderings, because if you're going to podcast, you might as well do it with anchor.fm.
Awesome. Yeah, I have 7 platforms, but that one seems like that works the best. Is that one of the one that downloads real good?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
That's a beautiful one.
Okay. So getting yourself unstuck. Now, just remember I told you about the awakenings, right? You're going to have an awakening, and I'm going to go through the symptoms of an awakening, because it's like everything, like your body vibrates even, because you're picking up your energy. So there's all kinds of things, but how to start it. So how to start it. All right.
Lisa says, I think some people stay stuck because we live in a society that looks for fast and
easy. Yes.
Part of waking up and breaking open is difficult and painful, so they skip that.
That's right, because sometimes awakenings, like, you have to really look at yourself in the mirror and realize. Now, part of my awakening, and I know that's what this is that I was angry. I spent a lot of anger, like pent up and stuff, and didn't even realize it. And I have put a lot of weight on. And I was just telling Kent, I started a diet and I'm having absolutely no problem following it. And it has to be because my alignment has came.
Sure.
So That can be also a symptom, like you're pent up. And I don't even eat a lot. I really don't. But it's my body is just like, and yeah. So holding on to stuff and getting rid of it. All right. So one of the things to help you start your unstuckness, I got to come up with a phrase for unstuck. We'll think about this. I'm pretty good with English. I'm an author, so come up with a key phrase that we can start using instead of being stuck. Okay. You have to admit who you are. You have to admit to yourself who you are. Okay. And I think everybody knows I don't even have to go into a lot of detail saying that, who am I? How many people go through that? At least 3 or 4 times in your life. Who am I? But you have to and look at yourself and admit who you are. Me, I've been a psychic this whole time. Now, way back when I first started teaching in 1994, I said, actually 1991, I started teaching, but I took my first classroom in like 93, 94. And I used to have, like, I was a special ed teacher at first before I was an art teacher. And I did, I had autism. I had all kinds of different kids. It was self-contained, right? Yeah. And my supervisor would come in, she goes, and these kids would all be working and they'd be calm, and it's an energy thing. And I have I'm a healer. And she says, like, I wish I could bottle. What are you doing with these kids? And she nominated me for all these awards and stuff. And I didn't even realize that was what I was doing. It's healing, until I had a slight awakening at 30. My mother died suddenly. Sometimes trauma also brings it on, guys. So that's a whole nother show. But trauma will start your awakening sometimes. I started saying, you know what? So I got into like this healing because I was grieving. It was very, very sudden. And I was just grieving. And my best friend took me to a place and she goes, you know what? We're getting trained in Reiki. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy stuff. Like all of a sudden by the end, I had my hands, I'm in somebody's aura and I'm reading them completely. And she looks at me funny. She goes, you're a medium. You're a psychic and a medium. And I'm like, really? I'm like, I don't know. So I came, it's admitting to myself and coming out and using my gifts to help everybody. Okay. Plus I'm a radio host. I've always been a radio host. Everybody always tells me that I'm a radio host. And I guess so. Okay. I don't know if you know, Doug McDuff out of Rockford. Have you ever heard of him?
Yes, I've heard of him.
Okay. Doug is a good friend of mine. He's the one who got me in this. He's like, okay, I know, because it started out as I'm a children's author. And he had me with my book. And I go, well, I do other things. And he's like, what? And I said, well, and I wouldn't want to tell him at first. But then I reluctantly said, well, I'm a psychic too. He started getting me on the radio. So, and he's like, you should be on the radio, or you should have your own show or something. I'm like, okay. So if you are, he listens to some of my stuff. So I hope, blessings to him. He's finally retired now. So
with us, Doug. Jen says the desert period.
The darkest for the dawn is kind of what the dark night of the soul. Yes, yeah. I agree. Yeah.
And Pete says my awakening was at 3:45 this morning. I'm ready for a nappening.
Okay.
Everybody's a comedian.
I know.
Well, just turn on 21.6 and that beat, snuggle up and take a nice long nap this afternoon.
That's right. It's a Saturday, and if you're not working, take the free time. Okay. So here's one of the things, like, you're admitting who you are. This is how I did it for myself. I started realizing, I started like I wasn't a closet psychic anymore. Anybody in my other job, they all know, and they think it's cool. It's for the first time in my life, everybody's just accepted me the way it is, and that's, I'm good with that. I'm not going to hide it anymore. I will say to you, I'm not allowed to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. I will after school. That's what or something like that. Okay.
Shayna asks, was the reading the children with autism different for you?
You know what? I also read, good question. Shayna, I know this is crazy, but I've been doing a lot of things. Look at the etheric double, that you could be 2 places at one time. And I can read autistic children. They like step out of their body and talk to me. Same thing as a person in a coma. I have talked to people in comas and they tell me what's going on. I recently did that for somebody, and he stood and he passed away, and he stood and he looked at me. He goes, I can't decide what to do. Should I go back or should I stay here? I'm happy here. And he literally said that to me. And that was very eye-opening for me, because sometimes we do have choices. Yeah, like, and for me, 5 choices. You usually have 5 different exit points. I was told that, and I never really believed that. But now, as I talk to other people who've had near-death experiences and things like that, they do say there's like 5. So anyway, so getting back to this, one of your best ways is to make little changes. Okay, go drive home a different way. Eat a food you've never eaten before. Go to the place that you like to go. I have a cafe I go to. I'm probably there 3 or 4 times a week. And they know me. It's so nice. You walk in, it's comforting, and they've got your drink sitting there and everything the way you do it. And I surprised them because I ordered something I've never ordered before. And they kind of went, it's getting that little stuff adds up in getting yourself unstuck. Okay. Now, here's the big one. If you can do this, it really, really helps. And I've talked to, and you have to remember, I'm talking to people all around the world. I'm probably have talked to a couple thousand people just this last few months because of readings and different. I'm always looking. I'm always talking. I'm talking to other religions. I do all of it because I respect all religions. I really do. And do something new and scary. Something that scares the hell out of you is going to get you unstuck and start looking at yourself inside better. Okay. And I don't mean going on taking a parachute out and going and playing, out of a plane, although that would be kind of cool. I've always kind of wanted to do it, but I'm scared. Yeah. I'm talking other things, like going on a trip by yourself when you don't like to be alone. That would be, for some people, that's really scary. You know what I'm saying? There's such a myriad of littler things, but doing something scary and new helps because it gives you a little bit new perspective. Okay.
Yeah. I like what Lisa says. She says, as people awaken, they need to try to remember that people will judge what they don't understand and are afraid to look at.
Yep.
That judgment is actually more about them than you. It's a part of them screaming to be looked at, but hidden in the dark. Now, really listening to yourself, isn't that doing something? You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be doing something that you're scared of?
Yes. Yeah. Some people, I'm finding a lot of people are scared to really, truly be alone.
Yeah, I hate being around people, but I need to be around people.
Yeah, exactly. I like being around people all the time, and now I can be in huge crowds, and everybody's like, as a psychic and a empath, you shouldn't be able to handle it. Well, I can turn it off. That's a whole nother show. Yeah. I know how to do it, and it's taken me. You have to remember, I'm seeing 1,000 people directly every week. Yeah. As a teacher. I see the whole building. So yeah. And so I've learned, and I didn't even realize that was what I was doing, but that's a whole nother, see, as you get with your gifts and you have to learn how to deal with them, how to use them to their benefit and how to shut them off, how to do all of that. So that's kind of what my show's about. I'm trying to teach you guys how to do that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So now,
get some questions ready.
Yes, I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready for questions. So, some other things that you can do, you can think of some other things that help unstick you. Do something that's nothing to do with yourself, but others. Help others with no expecting nothing back in return. Now, I'm not saying to do that all the time, because if you do it all the time, you're going to get something called compassion fatigue. And teachers know this. It's you just to get to a point you're so burned out you can't give anymore. No. I'm not saying that, because I'm just saying one kind thing where no other return, like buy the coffee behind somebody, behind you, Starbucks, and drive away and don't say a word. It's those little things. And that's biblical. They say that to not even, there's reasons why they say what they say in the Bible. I think sometimes people don't understand. And I'm not saying the Bible is bad. There's a wonderful, wonderful things in there, because I consider myself Gnostic Christian. So.
See, and that's interesting. So I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't even like Christmas, because I'm giving you a gift. But number one, you think that I should give you a gift because of the day it is. And number two, most people then, if you give me a gift, you're expecting me to give you a gift, right?
Yes.
So truly, and I tell people, I'm like, if you love me and you want to give me a gift on March 8th. And it means nothing. You're just thinking of me, do that without wanting anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other bad thing about what you talked about paying it forward at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Everybody then goes out to social media and says, "Hey, I paid
it
forward."
No.
And that's not.
It has to.
What you.
That's exactly. It has to have the joy has to come from within. Yeah. To see, and you're looking for societal approval, and that's right there is the stuckness. That just summed it all up. Okay. I got a comment right here, and her name is Jada. And how can you listen to yourself when you can't figure the difference of what you're feeling with what you're supposed to understand? Okay. Jada, you're stuck. That's exactly that's the feeling right there. You just said it because you don't know yourself. You need to spend more alone time. You need to unstick yourself. Follow some of these things that I'm suggesting, and it's a journey. But that you just summed up everything that's going on in people's mind. They're like, well, am I going the right way? Am I? You're having doubts. When you become unstuck, you no longer doubt yourself, and it's a confidence issue too. I always tell people on my YouTube channel, make it till you break it. And I had somebody go, well, you know what? You shouldn't say that or fake it till you make it. Right. And they said, oh no, that's not right because you're a psychic. You shouldn't say that. No, you're missing my point. Fake it till you make it is if you have no confidence, you act as if you have confidence and you will have it because it becomes part of you. It's all in that head up there. Okay. So, all right. Lana, I'm having really bad anxiety issues. And these are just aggravating day. But okay. Gerlian, a lot of times anxiety I'm finding also is coming from what I'm talking about. Now, as you go through your awakening, you may have anxiety. It may be horrid anxiety. You know why? Because you're growing as a person, you're listening to your heart, and you're letting what people are saying and doing go. Okay. But all you guys are describing that you're stuck. That's having the anxiety. Okay. What's the scene?
You can be stuck for years. You can be stuck since you were like 10.
Yes.
And you could be 40, 50 years old. So you could be happy, quote unquote, happy by societal means.
Yes.
But why your true purpose and living your true purpose, as we talked about the last couple of shows, and your life path, you may just be sitting on the side watching it go by.
Yes. So I've got another comment here. I'm having bad anxiety, and this is just aggravating day by day. I need help. I just end up overthinking all the more, and then I cry. That's part of your awakening. Now, I can tell you giving you some just suggestions to go out and do to help with that. But all this anxiety that everybody's going through, I used to think, oh, it's from our electronics. No, I think that we're growing as people, and it's part of the Age of Aquarius, and that's what part of it is. So
now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to Metaphysical Meanderings here at 216 The Net. Keep in mind, during this show, Lana's going to give you a 30,000 view kind of overhead. But if you want to dig in a little bit deeper, please reach out to her at Enchanted Sky. That's EnchantedSkye.com. And we'll take some of your questions because it's that part of the show. And Praddock had one early, and he says, how long can music therapy helping relieve stress and unleash the true potential of doing more and more exciting things ahead?
Well, I guess it's time for that time of I got people starting to ask questions. They're just piling them up. So what I'll do is I will put this to side and we'll be discussing this more because I can go on for months like this. On the stuck issue.
Good,
yeah. Just remember, I am, because we were just talking about that. Just like Jesus said, I am. Well, think about it. I is an intention. A is the alignment, and M is the manifestation. And that's basically what you're doing. You're manifesting your true soul purpose. Okay. So let's get on to questions because people are already they're just starting to pile up. Okay.
Peter says acting as if results in realization
Of becoming. Yep.
Just a fancier way of
Speak it. Yep. You're right, Peter. Yep.
Shayna says, I have a relationship I'm contemplating ending. I
Okay.
suspect it's a soul tie of some sort,
Yes,
and
I
I don't
agree.
want to dip if there is more work lessons to be cleared. I might be treading water a little, or more likely not wanting to trust myself.
I feel like you're going to finally do it, Shayna, around June. And I know this sounds really bad. I want to say this person may be dragging you down. And I want you to really think what I'm saying, because that did not come from me. I channel some of it. Sometimes my guides tell me, sometimes angels tell me. I hadn't seen angels in a long time, by the way. And I did that clearing last week and I saw them. And what was so funny is I didn't say anything, but the woman said to me, she was sitting back and she goes, something fluttered over my head. And I saw it out of the corner of my eye. And I said, I wonder if it was an angel's wing. And if you guys don't believe it, I've seen them. The reason I don't believe in demons is because I truly believe that if you don't believe in them, they don't exist. I know there's evil in the world and there are people there are evil entities. I don't say that, but they're people who have turned away from the light of God. That's how I feel about it. And yes, there is evil, so that you understand that I don't believe that there's none evil. But anyway, so back to this. Okay, so I got so many people like posting now because every week I have quite a few more people, which is really awesome. So yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going back and forth from my YouTube to your YouTube to our Facebook, and we're taking questions. Okay. So if it ever looks like on my YouTube, if you don't see things on my screen, like you will see different things, you'll see the person I'm talking to on 216thenet.com, but you won't see it here because I'm live. So, okay. Sorry. I'm trying to, it's hard. We're trying to figure this out, you guys. We're getting our technology is really starting to up our game a little bit. So yeah. Okay. I feel the outside world is going through a huge change, and this can be very difficult to walk through it. Yes, I feel the same way. Immerse ourselves in nature and positivity. And nature is a very important thing. I think that people don't realize that nature, the negative energy, take a walk outside. I know we can't now, it's cold, but hug a tree. It really works. And it's that alone, that downtime. You're connecting. Okay.
Go to Infinite Soul Vibrations and get a crystal for that energy.
Yes, that too. And she'll even suggest a crystal, which one to get for you. Yep. So yeah. And she'll say, oh, I think you need this, because that's what she does. That's her talent. That's her gift. Yeah.
Okay. Jen says, hey, great topic today.
Good. Oh, thank you.
The question is, will my husband take over the company he's currently working for? If so, how soon? Kind of feels like he's in limbo right now.
Is there, you know what, Jen, is there a way he can share the power? Like, I know that sounds weird, but I feel like he's not going to completely take it over. Get back to me on that. And if he does, it'll be like a working business and it will work. It will work because he gets along with that person. So get back to me on that, because that was what I'm picking up on that. All right. Okay. I feel the outside world is going through huge changes. I have that. Yes. You know what? Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Starting in February, there's a speeding up of energy, and people are starting to get out. People are starting to have more confidence. About 10% of my state in Wisconsin has now gotten their shots. I'm not scheduled yet because I've had COVID. So I'm going to go in March, and I'm kind of scared to get it. But then I know some friends who've gotten it, who've had COVID and didn't get sick at all. So it scares me a little because I got pretty sick, and then my daughter got nothing. She only got a sore arm, both shots.
Maybe you should ask Lana.
So what?
Maybe you should ask Lana.
So yeah, I know I'm doing my meditation, so I'm connecting. So yes. So okay. Also dating, will be a single in a year. Dealing with, will I be single this year? Money is okay. Guy has too many issues. Virginia. Virginia, have a person coming. If you get rid of the other person, you have somebody coming in around August or September. It'll start really super slow, and let that be slow. This guy will drag his feet a little, but when he finally commits, it'll be good. Okay. So just be patient with him. All right.
Bless you, Wendy.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Jen
Right.
says, big possibility that could happen, sharing the power.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Any time frame on that?
As in, what do you mean? Like
taking over that company was the second.
Oh, it's a big possibility that could happen, sharing the power. Yes. You're looking around August. Okay, Jen. Yeah, I was right. Okay, big possibility that could happen. Yeah, you have to remind me because you have to remember I'm looking at 3 different. Yeah, there's a lot of energy, and well, that's why we call it metaphysical meanderings. Because if you know me, I go even when I teach, even in school, the kids can get me off subject, and I'll be like, well, we'll come back to that. Oh, yeah. That's my mind. It flitters, it's a left-handed thing. I'm left-handed. So, and we do that. We did. And it very left. Aren't you left-handed?
No, I'm right. But
everybody else
but you said the way that I hold my
that pen is left, right brain dominant. Yes. Yeah. Okay. It's a right brain dominant thing. So anyway, okay. Oh, good. Thank you, Wendy. Let's see. I have a relationship. Okay. I got that. Crying. Lisa says crying's a release of energy and it's freeing. Yes, it is. I do it every once in a while. I've always heard that. Like you force yourself to cry because it's just a release and you just feel so much better, when you're angry or anything. Just, yeah. So anyway, all right. Beautiful morning, Lana. Any messages coming for me? Much love to you, Susie. Susie, the only thing I'm getting is you're supposed to follow through with what you're planning. I don't know what that means, but you probably know what that means. I think you're scheming. You're like, yeah, you're either changing your job or you're doing something, and they are telling me to tell you to follow through because no offense, they say you don't a lot. You think about it, oh yeah, that's great, and then never follow through. That did not come from me. I channeled that. So, okay. See, tell me if I'm right. Okay. All right. Highland just found out you love your show. Do you see me staying at the current company I'm at, Michelle? No. You have something. Start putting your resume out. Susie says it's perfect sense. Okay, good. Thank you. Because I don't mean to do that. I just say what comes out of my mouth. And my kids have learned, oh, by the way, over time, that if I'm walking around and they say something and I say something back, well, you're going in August, so they know it's true because I don't think about it and I'm channeling. It's coming through me, through my guides and through my angels and all that. And I've been told I have many, many angels because that's why I can clear houses. Because I've over the years asked kindly if somebody would help me. So I'm just here to help. So anyway, do you see me moving? Hold on. Just found your, do you see me staying at the current company? Yeah, Michelle, back to you. You will know, start putting out the resume and you will know by July. And yes, there is something. And I know there's a lot of people out of work. I know that we are in a recession. I'm telling you that this is not, it's going to start to speed up and things are going to get better. So people that are looking for jobs, start looking. Yeah, that's all I have to say about it. I don't know what else to say. So
Pete is renting a house. He says
yes.
There's something extra in our house. It wanders around a lot at night, non-corporeal. Any thoughts?
The owner of the last house, it's an older guy, or the last person that owned the house. He's like attached to it. Pete, if you want me to get rid of it, call me. I clear houses. I don't think he's going to hurt you though. I don't think he's like a benevolent. I think he's okay. Yeah, I think he just, he was very attached to that house. And I think that he either built it or there was something that he's feeling attached to the land. Okay. But I don't feel like he would hurt anybody. I feel like he was kind of a nice guy, sort of, but you can probably hear him because that's a whole nother issue. I guess a whole nother show. So trust me, that could be 10 shows. Trust me, some of the stuff I've seen and had happen.
And
so
Shayna says, if you're a closet psychic, do you host a coming out party?
You know what? Someone said that to me recently. Said, "Oh, you're coming out," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a closet psychic." And they think, "Oh, okay." Hey, I don't have it. I have a lot of my friends are gay. I don't have a single problem with it. So anyway, okay. Thank you. I'm an independent contractor. I'm wondering if the gig is right for me. So no. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Your business is, I don't know what to say, Michelle, but your business is going to pick up. It's going to pick up around June or July. You're following the wave too. So just keep watching that. I that's what I get. Okay.
Yeah, Pete says it's totally non-confrontational, just noisy.
Oh, it's just noisy. You can tell him to stop. I want you guys to realize if you're having a haunting, you are probably causing it. They're picking up the energy off you. Because you're alive, they're dead, you have more energy, you can control it. If you really don't want to see them anymore, you put your foot down, you walk through the house and you say, you're going to stop, I'm going to make you leave. And if you don't want to leave, then you be quiet because I'm not going to put up with it. And you mean what you say and they will back down. I don't care what anybody says. You see all these things on TV about all these people and they're scratching me and they're not going to touch you if you tell them they're not going to touch you. Maybe. And I want you to understand that, okay?
Pete,
you have the power.
Maybe it's because you took Emily there. Maybe the guy was just happy because it was just him, but now you got Emily there. Could be a little confrontation.
There you go. There you go.
That's rolling us right to where we need to be at this time this week. One more question. We've got time.
You know what, Gerline, look up my website and call me later. Okay, just call me. Just call me. Every once in a while, I give you guys a free reading. I want to talk to her, and I'm being told to tell you that. All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Of course, you've been listening to Metaphysical Meanderings. Check her out at anchor.fm and just search Metaphysical Meanderings. Or go right to her website. Lana's got a great website, and she'll do a reading for you.
I'm 25% off.
25% off right now.
Like $20-$30 off.
And that's at EnchantedSky, SKYE.com.
My horse.
We
horse's name.
Just want to thank everybody for tuning in and supporting us. And tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., come back and listen to Lisa's Changing Perceptions right here at 216 The Net. Folks, we love you. Thanks for hanging out on Saturday morning. Enjoy the week.